get rid of that. Shandy, cheers.
Cheers. To family.
To family. Oh, God.
Good old Shandy. Right.
Right.
Ready?
And then there were two.
There was two. Okay, I'm just going to remember this. Hello.
You've nailed this introduction. Us just being two here has really thrown you off, hasn't it?
It has. Hello, thanks for listening and welcome back to another episode of Sync Slate 6. Episode number 8.
8, wow.
Movie podcast where we talk movies, all things Hollywood happenings, and more. I'm definitely missing something out to make that an MMM
I didn't
thing.
realise you did the same opening every time.
I try to if I can remember it right.
Was it major Hollywood happenings
That's it.
and more?
Yeah, and more.
Nice.
I just cut you in, didn't it? To my right is Joe.
Right and left around this circle table.
And to my left is Silence.
Traitor.
Yeah, so Arlo is on holiday, living it up in the sun.
No, he's not. He's in his bedroom, is what he is.
And Larry, last week Arlo said Larry is a flake, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, correct.
He flaked out on us and went and sold a wardrobe on the coast, I think.
Yeah, he said it was a 4.5 hour round trip to sell his wardrobe. Doesn't seem worth it to me.
No.
Also, they've got a tiny car.
Oh, yeah.
How do they get that?
Yeah, because he's got one of those tiny little yellow...
Yeah, I don't
Beetle
know. I think
bug things.
Is it not Fiat?
Yeah, the Fiat
But it's
500,
tiny.
isn't it? Yeah.
And that I've seen that wardrobe. That wardrobe's big.
Should
maybe they
have
just
asked him.
maybe they just like strapped it to the top.
Yeah.
Nah,
Don't
they must
know.
have hired a van or something like
Can
that.
you take those zip vans out of the city?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I only found
I'm
out
just
what a
checking.
zip van was the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
£10 an hour.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't have a driving license though. Do you drive?
Yep.
Wow. Learn
I
something
do.
new about each other every day, don't we?
I drive just as well as the people in our episode topic.
Wait. When was the last time you drove? Because Sam Ellis,
Yeah.
if you're listening, he passed his driving test like when we were in college. So it must have been like when he was like 18 or 19. I don't think he's driven since.
No, he drives now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, because last time I went to see him, he's got a Citroen and he calls it the bitchin.
Of course he does. Legend.
Yeah. When was the last time I drove? I drove in Chile, which was in January. I was there.
Oh, really?
I put it this way. I've had my license almost 10 years. I've driven more in countries that aren't England.
Wow. I think I'm going to pass my driving test when we like go back to Korea, because all you got to do is drive around like one of those like fake courses, and then it's kind of like America. So you get your like quote unquote license, but then you need to do like a certain amount of hours driving around with an instructor.
Yep.
So I'm just going to do that. It's just pretty hard to pass in this country, right?
I don't think I can pass it now.
Didn't Will Mapplethorpe, I think he failed his test like 3 times on the mainland and then just went and took it on the Isles of Scilly where there's like no stoplights, no roundabouts, nothing.
Yeah, my brother actually did his over there.
Really?
Yeah, but he's a quite good driver, I would say. He's better than me.
Suspicious though. I don't like that.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I can't remember who this is, but I feel like it's someone we know. They were in their driving test, and they're going to change gear, and they were looking around for the gear stick, and they were rubbing the instructor's leg.
It's one way to pass, I suppose.
Yeah, and speaking of which, another friend of mine from Zimbabwe just like bribed his way to get driving license.
Have you ever seen that episode of Peep Show where Mark like takes one of those intensive courses?
Yeah, I have seen them all.
Like, just goes to take his test and he's like, I can't drive, but I need my license. So just...
Excuse me.
Talking of driving,
Yes, that's what I was getting onto. This week we're going to be talking about The Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. It's family. Hobbs and Shaw, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Hobbs and Shaw. Which kind of sounds like a a DIY store. Or something like that. Or a make-up
Come
drill.
on down to Hobbs and Shaw.
But before that, we're going to talk this week's news, which is quite light, and trailers.
It's very dry for news this week.
I want to say something up top too, actually, in our thank yous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a quite nice one. And actually, anyone listening, if they want to give us a like or a subscribe or any of those things, it really helps us out. And just general feedback or like email us, because it's just really nice to hear these things. So it was my friend Joe's 30th last night, who you've met when we went to watch Infinity War and Endgame back to back.
Slept on my couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he went
Like
to
that
work.
guy.
Yeah.
He went to work?
Yeah, that day.
I would not have been able to go to
No,
work.
I took the day
after
off.
6 hours of Avengers
Yeah.
until 4 in the morning.
They all went, him and like his group of friends that does not include me, all went to Glastonbury. There's like a big crew of them, and they obviously got mangled, as is Glastonbury tradition. And on the drive back yesterday, him and his girlfriend said to me, his girlfriend Sinead, hello Sinead, I think she listens too, that our episode about the biopic as they were saying, got them through their car journey back to London.
What, just them two in the car listening to our podcast?
Yeah, because two of my friends, the other two were meant to be in the car, bailed early on Glastonbury, because I found this out last night. Weirdly, the only pair of shoes this guy took was a pair of Crocs, 2 sizes too big for him.
That is not what you want at Glastonbury, is it?
And his feet apparently were mangled. He was like, I was walking, when he like went home, he's like, I was walking on the kitchen floor and just water was coming out of my feet. Like all the blisters.
Oh, that's grim. So they listened to that on the way home. Is that not the episode where I go on like a 3-minute rant about how I couldn't stand anything more than being at Glastonbury?
I think that might have come the week after.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
So they enjoyed
thank
it.
you. Yeah. They really liked
quality.
it. Yeah. And yeah.
Also, you told me midweek that we have a Scandinavian listener.
No, Swiss.
Oh, Swiss.
Swiss, yeah.
Sorry.
Whoever you are, thanks for listening.
Maybe it's Swiss Mark.
Breakdancing champion Swiss Mark.
Yeah.
We can just take these long drinks and just cut it.
Yeah, easy as
Yeah.
that. You'll never know.
Or will they? So yeah, we've got light news, but I've got a few.
Yeah.
I've got a few things.
So I go to my usual channels to kind of look up
Yeah.
news and see what I want to talk about this week. And a lot of these websites, a couple weeks ago we were saying like it all just seems to be Marvel.
Yeah.
A lot of these places just have separate sections these days.
I saw that on a
It
site
was just
too.
like news and Marvel news.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. So all you get, I mean, this week I was just scrolling through it and it was like mock-ups of this actor that they wanted to, like it was fan art basically. And I was like, that's not news.
No, it's not. Yeah. It feels like really saturated. That I find when I look for it, I have to open like about 8 tabs, and then usually sift through and get like 1 or 2 things.
Yeah,
from
maybe
them.
with the next kind of 8 months off of Marvel, it might calm down a little bit.
And also, I don't know if you feel the same about this, but this summer, like blockbuster-wise, there's nothing really coming out.
Apart from its Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. But that's not your standard blockbuster,
It's not, I
is
wouldn't call
it?
it a blockbuster,
No.
no. Yeah, I mean, I think this year so far for movies has been pretty light.
Yeah.
We had an amazing year last year, though, and you often see that, like, if you look at the Oscar winners and contenders, you see, like, on and off years for movies. And unfortunately, I think 2019 might be one of those years. I mean, what are the biggest things that have come out this year apart from haven't been Marvel?
Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw.
Oscar
contender.
Hobbs and Shaw, Lion King.
Yeah, which is doing middling at best, I think.
Middling at best.
Yeah.
That's what we thought as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What else has come out this year that has been like critically acclaimed? Nothing.
I can't think of anything.
No. Oh well.
No.
It's always next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe in the future we'll do.
There's a couple of exciting things coming up.
Yes. September looks quite good.
September. Well, we've got obviously it's annoying because Once Upon a Time came out 2 weeks ago, came out this week just gone.
Yeah.
In America, but it's not coming out till the 15th in the UK. Then we've got after that we've got It Chapter 2, which we're going to be talking about, and we've got Joker as well. There's a few more.
Yeah, there's something else. I'm sure we saw a poster for it. But anyway, tell me.
Toy Story 4. That's the other one that came out this year. That's been probably
Yeah, it does feel very light.
Yeah. Considering last year we had like The Favourite, Roma, Black Klansman.
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Definitely. Like last year was a year I felt like I need to be in the cinema like every week to stay. Yeah, to stay on it. And this year it's kind of been like, well, we kind of struggled. We luckily this movie came out. I almost gave it a verb then. So it was something for us to do because we were kind of looking through the cinema screenings and just being like, what is on?
Yeah, there's this. You're right. This summer's been pretty terrible. When does Avatar 2 come out? Do you know?
Don't care.
But I imagine that'll be like the big summer blockbuster of next year.
I don't know. It must be next year.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. So you have it. You want to go first with your news? Who has news? I have news. You have news?
We need like a jingle to introduce us to the news section.
I do need. Yeah.
You need to get on the bloody jingles, mate.
Yeah. Well, maybe when I'm away.
Yeah.
I can start to. But also, I mean, this is probably a conversation for off mic, but whatever. It's like thinking of the theme. Like, do we go like 50s style Hollywood? Like, try and have like a musical theme running through the show, or do we try and just do like random whatever nonsense with the jingles?
Random nonsense kind of seems to parallel the shit that comes out of our mouth quite well. So maybe that would be a better idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got a bit of news. It Chapter 2, which we were just talking about, coming out quite soon. It's looking like it's positive news. Stephen King, obviously, who wrote the stories, has actually read a first draft. They let him read it, and he's suggested a whole new scene for the film, which they're actually thinking about incorporating. Andre Muschietti, I think his name is, the director, and Stephen King had a sit down meeting, like a long conversation about this, and they're obviously keeping it under wraps at the moment, but it looks like positive things coming out of there. Stephen King said, "I wasn't involved at all in the first one. I wish them well." Which obviously it came out and had really good reviews.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
I have, yeah.
It's really good, yeah. I watched that last year, I think.
I think Bill Skarsgård is amazing.
Yes, yeah, he's
Pennywise.
really good. Yeah.
Do you know about the on the set of Chapter 1?
No.
So because obviously they were child actors, it was like Finn Wolfhard and I've forgotten the other ones, to be honest.
The rest.
Sophia Lillis and stuff.
Yeah.
They kept Bill Skarsgård completely away from them for as long as possible. So they only got to see him during takes and
to like create
but
that.
in like his full costume and makeup as well. To kind of so that their reactions might be a little bit more genuine. Which is quite a cool little
that's
idea.
really good.
Do you know who's in It Chapter 2?
I know James McAvoy is in it.
James McAvoy's in it. Do you know who is playing Beverly Marsh?
No, go on.
You're going to love it. Jessica Chastain.
Oh, really?
Our favourite actress here on the podcast.
Old wooden Jessica Chastain.
No, I think she'll do good job. I think we were pretty harsh on her in the first episode about Dark Phoenix.
Well, she didn't have much to work with, I feel.
She didn't. I didn't realise until recently, someone pointed this out, that she only actually gets referred to as Vuk once in that film.
Right.
And it's massively dubbed.
Ah.
Because she wasn't actually supposed to be Vuk.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Yeah.
That seems like a movie that, I mean, just to go off topic, but they must have just went back and redid a lot, and the movie suffered, I think, in the post-Marvel.
Well, it's all down to the meddling post-production. Obviously Captain Marvel came out and kind of ruined expectations for this, and so they had to go back and change it. But we're not here to revisit that. Another point about this It Chapter 2 is, even though they're using the child actors still, so I imagine there's going to be some flashbacks and stuff like that, because Finn Wolfhard et al. Will still be in the movie, but because of the age the kids are, and it's been a couple years between films, obviously they grow up quite a lot. I mean, you only have to watch Stranger Things season 1 and Stranger Things season 3.
Even within season 3, you can see which scenes with certain of the actors. You can, especially the kid that plays Lucas, you can really tell which scenes were filmed in chronological order. You know, in the actual order they did it, because there's some shots in like, wow, he's just got like a man's face on a child's body almost.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Are they, like, in season 4, they're going to start like having voice cracks and like a 5 o'clock shadow on the top lip? Like,
amazing, yeah. But they could totally work that in, like, you know, give them those like dodgy teen mustaches, which sadly you do see a lot in nerds, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I had one.
Yeah.
So my point was, they're actually going to be using the de-aging technology that they used. Well, Hollywood's obsessed with at the moment. I mean, we saw it in Captain Marvel on Samuel L. Jackson, and we saw it.
Michael Douglas. That was a good one. Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yeah. So they're going to be using this technology on the kids.
Interesting.
Which is kind of a bit bizarre. I'm quite intrigued to see how that works.
Yeah, it makes sense to do it, but also, I don't know. I guess you'd have to see it before and after, but it almost doesn't feel like it needs to be, really. Like, it's something I feel like as a viewer I could take with a pinch of salt. Like, it wouldn't take me out of the movie enough if they didn't de-age them.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, it only kind of works if you watch the films side by side. Yeah. Right? Because I imagine the flashbacks would be to the same time as the first one was set, or there'd be no point in using it. It's just quite an interesting little snippet. But it actually brings me on to my second bit of news.
Ooh.
Because I don't know, we've just watched it, but did you notice that there was major de-aging technology in that trailer?
What?
The one we just watched. So we just watched the new trailer for a film called The Irishman.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of de-aging technology in that.
Yeah, actually, now you've said it, those guys looked really good. So it's Robert De Niro.
Yep.
Al Panch, and
Joe
Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Yeah. Who? Yeah, Joe Pesci. Who we should have brought up last week on our topic of who's due a comeback. But if you haven't seen the trailer yet for The Irishman, check it out. It's obviously star-studded cast.
It looks really good.
It looks amazing. It's based on a book that's a biography of Frank the Irishman Sheeran.
He's a mobster, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, essentially. So it's about a mafia hitman.
Okay,
basically it's all about, from what I gather from the trailer and a bit of news around it, it's about him joining the mafia and carrying out a hit on Jimmy Hoffa, who is Al Pacino in the trailer, who is I might have got this wrong, but Teamster Union leader.
Right.
Teamster Union, like a major working union in the States, from what I gather.
Okay.
And so it's all about that and how that affected the political climate and stuff.
Yeah, because it looked from the trailer they're going to incorporate some JFK stuff in there.
Yeah. But the case revolving this has still been unresolved 40 years later. So I mean, this movie's been in production for years and years and years. And
has it always been Scorsese?
I don't know if it's always been Scorsese, but it's the reason it's come to fruition finally is it got picked up by Netflix. I don't know if you saw it in the trailer, but yeah, this is going to be a Netflix film. But
finally, a good one.
Well, that's it. And unlike previous Netflix films like Roma and Bird Box, this is going to have a limited release in movie theaters.
Okay.
For I don't know for a few weeks.
Yep.
And then just a month later will be available to stream on Netflix.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it. I wonder what revenue Netflix would get from the cinema tickets.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because does that now make them a production company?
Well, they are a production company anyway, aren't they? But I mean, the budget was initially 100 million for this movie, and it's actually creeped up to 200 million.
That's a lot.
Which is a lot of money. So you'd imagine they're going to have a cut of the box office.
Yeah, that must be the actors' wages. The majority.
A lot of it will be actors' wages.
Because I was looking at figures like in the week, and was it The Dark Knight was about 200 million or 250 million, and that's got a lot of crazy action sequences in. And I feel like apart from Christian Bale, the salaries wouldn't be that high. Maybe Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine.
Yeah. Michael Caine.
Well, actually, it says here that a lot of the budget is on the de-aging technology, which is quite funny. They're all just so haggard. It's just costing more and more. Each wrinkle is another couple of grand. Which is that how it works? Is it like a sliding scale for like how old you are as to how old you want to look? The bigger the difference, the bigger the amount of money.
Yeah, it must. Well, I know a lot of like CGI stuff is not necessarily that it can't be done. It's like how much time and money the studio has. So when you see bad CGI, like nowadays, it's usually because the budget's not there and they don't have the time to pay whoever's doing it to do it.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it does.
It's coming out at New York Film Festival on the 27th of September, and then a couple of weeks after that, you'll have it at the cinema, and then a couple of weeks after that, you can sit at home and watch it on Netflix.
Right.
I mean, I imagine we will just wait for it to come on Netflix.
Yeah, save our
hard-earned dollar.
Yeah. Stop giving that bizarre Odeon we go to.
Again, we didn't get our tickets checked.
No, we didn't.
We haven't had our tickets checked for the last 2 months.
I think every time we've been there, the only time we got checked was Avengers back to back.
Yeah.
And we went to like...
But that's because it was sold out.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah.
Half of me wants to just be like, right, I'm not paying anymore and just walk in. But then maybe they like have like some sort of CCTV where they can see how many people are in there. And if they've not sold that many tickets, they might like do a
That's interesting.
spot check.
Because there was one time where we were in there and a member of staff sort of came in and looked around.
Oh, really?
And then walked back out, and I was like, ooh.
They probably don't really care, do they? I mean,
there's also, as well, like, there's some kind of, the one we go to, there's some, like, events hall there or something, because this morning was like, it was like a church service almost, or like a Sunday school. It was really strange. It was so packed. Or... instead of going to church, all these people went to see The Fast and the Furious.
No, because they were like in their Sunday best, weren't they? In the cinema, helping themselves to the pick and mix.
Which, I mean, I kind of wish we'd gone to that screening just to be with all these people in super smart clothes watching The Rock and Statham tussle.
Oh, God.
We'll get there.
I don't want to get there.
You got any more news?
That's all I've got, really. Kind of like The Irishman coming out looks good, and It Chapter 2 coming out looks good, basically.
Well, I've got one thing that doesn't look good. Saw reboot.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Are they rebooting it?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What was the last one? 6? 7?
7, I feel like. But I think I've only seen 1 and 2, maybe 3.
No, I went to a really... So, you know when I used to live in the pub?
Yes.
Not when I was a kid.
Can you close that?
Yeah, you close the window. After I finished my degree, I moved in above the pub that I was working at, and I was like looking after it. And they did this thing when I was there where they were playing every Friday night for like a month and a half. They were playing the Saw movies and starting at 11 o'clock at night. And 11 o'clock was when I closed the pub. So I just like literally close up, go upstairs, watch a Saw movie. But at the same time as we used to also have like a putting green in our living room. So I just used to like, I don't know, just putt while watching heads get decapitated.
Like some kind of mob boss yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I actually had a couple of cats up there that I could stroke.
Yeah, for that same reason of Friday night movies in the UK, I reckon I've seen Jet Li's whole back catalogue, which is so bizarre. And some of the, you know, from when he's like about 16 or upwards, just from like a Friday night where we're from, like...
There's not much to do on a Friday night.
And the disco you couldn't get into. It sounds like we're from the 70s, but you couldn't... I wasn't of the age to get in, but my brother was, and he used to come back drunk, and I'd stay up and watch 24. And by the time he got back, it would be going into one of these Jet Li movies. So
nice.
He used to be drunk, and like I'd eat a pizza, and we watch this back catalogue. It was quite fun.
I've never been to the disco on the Isles of Scilly. Is it finished?
Done, yeah, kaput.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah. I'll never go. Everyone used to speak about it all the time.
Well, we mentioned him earlier, but it's Sam Ellis's fault everyone stopped being able to go in at 16.
Sam Ellis?
Yeah.
Why? What did he do?
I think he's just drunk underage down there. So, I guess for anyone listening, it's like it used to be in the basement of a pub. So where we're from, there's no nightclubs or anything. So all the pubs used to shut at like 11 p.m. So there was nowhere to go. So the disco would be open 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh, was it just 2 hours?
And they stopped serving drinks at midnight. So everyone at last order, you know, kick out last orders, so like 11:30, 11:45, would sprint to the disco, order
like ridiculous amounts of...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, you know, people with 3 or 4 bottles in each hand. And another thing people used to drink was diesel, they call it, which is you get a pint glass and you put a bottle of red WKD and a bottle of blue WKD into a pint glass and drink that.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and it is like drinking diesel. It like burns your throat.
Compared to the Isles of Scilly, Penzance looks like a lit night out then, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
With Club 2K. We used to go there and you used to be able to get something called a turbo rattler.
What's that? No.
So, Rattler is a strong Cornish cider.
Yeah.
I think it used to be like 6% before it went into Wetherspoons.
Yeah, and I had a friend that worked at that farm, and he said it's kind of, at the start, 6% was like a rough estimate.
Yeah.
He said they used to put so much like sugar and... Do you use yeast for cider? You must do, right? No, you don't.
No.
Maybe it's just loads of sugar. And
actually, wait, there must be some kind of bacteria.
Maybe the sugar does it.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway...
I should know that.
Yeah, you probably should, actually. Yeah, and he said so sometimes a batch might have come out at like 8.5% or something like that. That was when it first launched. I think it's like way more under control now. But when it was like a sort of more DIY thing.
So yeah, that's bleak, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a turbo rattler used to be a pint glass, and you'd get a few cubes of ice in it, and then they would put 2 shots of vodka, 2 shots of blue bowls.
What's that?
Have you ever seen bowls? It kind of like it's just I don't know.
Just like a liqueur.
Yeah, I guess. Kind of like aftershock.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
It goes in a lot of cocktails, like so 2 shots of vodka, 2 shots of blue bowls, and then topped up with Rattler in a pint glass.
Oh.
And it turns like green, and not just like oh, this is a green drink, like as in. If you pour it on your t-shirt, one, that's never coming out. And two, if you're in a dark place, your t-shirt will be a light source. Like, it's a luminescent.
And Club 2K was so dark.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
People just like walking around with just like this green glowing liquid all over them. We actually gave, talking about him again, we gave Sam Ellis one of these on his bachelor party, and he threw up by 7 p.m.
I missed that. I was really sad. I had to work.
How the hell did we get on this topic?
The Saw reboot.
Oh,
And
Saw reboot.
Being above a pub. We should. I would say we should get Sam on here. He doesn't live within distance, but I don't think he watches movies.
Does he not like movies?
No, I feel
maybe we could just do a Saved by the Bell special. He loves Saved by the Bell.
And he used to run that blog on Tumblr. And I had the address written down, but it's gone, where he would go through every episode
of Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Christ.
So good.
The weird kind of stupid hobbies you get into when you live on a fucking island. Right, so tell me more about the Saw trailer. Anyway.
All I wrote down was Saw reboot, so because I don't
do you
care.
know because Jigsaw died, right?
Did he?
In number like 4 or 5, I think.
Oh.
Well, okay, we don't.
I
know
guess
they'll
just start
Sounds
it again.
shit, to be honest.
They'll probably just try.
Saw
and
1 was amazing.
Yeah.
Saw 2 and 3 were kind of entertaining, and then it just got ridiculous.
Yeah, and I feel like if they'd never made 2, I think 2's got quite a good twist ending actually that links it back up. I feel like
I can't remember.
It might have invented that horror trope where it's actually like, within a similar time frame to its previous one or something like that.
Right.
But I feel like the fact that they made like 4 afterwards, they just all feel terrible, even though the first 2 are actually very good.
Yeah.
If they'd left it there, everyone would be like, "Oh my god, Saw was so good."
Also, yeah, everyone just kind of fell out of love with the whole like torture porn,
Yeah.
basically genre, slasher kind of esque. Okay, do you know? I don't know when that's coming out or
No,
anything.
I don't care.
Okay, early production then.
Yeah.
Or has someone just come out and gone, maybe we'll do this?
No, I think it's like early production.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's just been announced we're rebooting Saw.
Sounds dumb.
Whoever studio. Yeah. I've got the Elvis biopic that Arlen mentioned the other week.
Yes.
Guess who's been cast as Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker.
Who's that?
No, that's Elvis's manager's name.
Oh, right. Sorry. Go on. Who's been Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That was a complete guess.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Well, it's an educated guess. It was your news. So I was like, might be Tom Hanks. Really?
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. What's this guy's name?
The manager's name?
Yeah.
Tom Parker, sure, or Thomas the Colonel Parker. I assume he's got a military nickname because he's probably quite militant.
Yeah.
So this is already starting to look like Oscar bait. Throw in Tom Hanks. It's a biopic. You've got a complete unknown in the lead. It's probably just going for the award throats, I would say.
Yeah. When's it coming out? It's coming out Oscar season as well, isn't it?
Well, it's 2021 now. So it's quite a way off, yeah.
Okay. Colonel Tom Parker. Yeah, I can see Hanks playing that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. With the hat on.
With the hat on,
He looks good in those. Is that Fedora?
No, it's not Fedora. Do you know anything about the guy? Like, I've never heard about him before.
I kind of actually don't.
Will he be like the antagonist, or...?
It usually plays out that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, music executives are always the bad guy in films.
Yeah.
There's never been a protagonist like music
a
exec,
nice
is
music businessman just doesn't happen in movies.
Maybe we should make that film.
It would be really bad. Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of interested in that just because I don't know a lot about Elvis's backstory. So I feel like there could be a lot in there.
Like we said when we were talking about it, I really hope that they focus on one like period of his life.
Yeah.
And not do this whole going through his whole life or like going back and forth between two time periods or something. I just want to see like an in-depth character study almost.
What's the bet that the film either opens with him, like you say, him going on stage, or him on the toilet?
Him on the toilet.
Because he died on the toilet.
They won't do that though, will they? Because I mean, the Presley family wouldn't have given.
Oh yeah, true.
Like, I don't know. I'll be really disappointed because I imagine we'd probably go see it in the cinema if we're still around. If we're sitting there with our popcorn and our slushy, and then suddenly it comes up with Elvis with his guitar about to come on stage, there's just going to be a massive exhale of, here we go. Here's 2.5 hours of cliched nonsense that I'm not getting back.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I do have one other kind of small bit of news.
Go on.
Have you heard much about the Dune remake?
I don't know a huge amount about the franchise in general. But I know they are doing a remake.
Yeah, it's just been pushed back a month to December 2020. So I think they're going for Star Wars' slot.
Oh.
Well, I mean, Star Wars will be done by then. But so maybe they're trying to get make it the Christmas blockbuster of next year.
I see what you mean.
It's just going to be like a big sci-fi epic. I've seen the original. It's like one of those cult movies because it's really stupid and badly done.
Yeah. It's Frank Herbert that wrote it.
Yeah.
And he end up like hating it.
Probably, yeah.
Because I think there's more than one book, isn't there? There's quite a few. And
potentially. And I feel like it's a huge book. Just whichever one the movie's based on, just Dune.
Yeah. I remember watching the original and
Sting's in his underpants fighting someone.
So bad, isn't it? Do you say 2021?
2020 for
2020.
June. Yeah.
Because coming back to something we were talking about earlier, which I just had a thought, I thought that might be competing with Avatar for the Christmas release. But Avatar 2 is 17th of December 2021.
Ooh.
So it's going for that Christmas the following year. So we got Star Wars this Christmas, June next Christmas, and Avatar the Christmas after that.
Yeah.
Those are 3 very disappointing years of film, aren't they?
I was going to say that, yeah. Well, I guess that leads us on to the trailers that we got in front of the movie this week. They had a Star Wars one, which I think I've seen before.
That hundreds of times, I think. Yeah, it's Rey running away from that Quinjet X-Fighter? Oh, what are they called?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, Quinjet's Marvel. What am I talking about?
Spaceship. And she does a sweet flip.
And she does, she's running away and does like a flip over the top. It's not like a backflip, is it? It's like a spinning flip.
Yeah. Like a sweet 180.
Like a sweet transition.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm. Are you a Star Wars fan?
I am a Star Wars fan.
Oh, you are.
And I was reading the comics for a while.
Yeah.
And
I heard the Darth Vader one was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think these ones deserve as much hatred as they're getting.
No, I really like The Last Jedi.
You like The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I know it split everyone, but I thought it was quite good.
Yeah. I don't know. They'll finish off this triplet of films, and then I imagine they'll take another substantial break before the next ones.
Lando's back, baby.
Calrissian. Yeah. One thing I'm really interested is how they're going to handle Leia in this.
Yes, because they're using tech and a mixture of footage from the previous two, aren't they?
Fisher.
Yeah.
So that could be quite interesting, because I think the movie was she was one of the main focuses.
Yeah.
Whereas now I imagine they'll just be like, I'm going now.
Yeah.
And it'll be like an emotional goodbye.
Yeah. Because I thought they were going to do it in the last movie, because there's a bit where she's fired into space, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Mary Poppins
But she was
away.
alive then.
Yeah. But I thought she was dying off in the last movie.
Oh, I see what you mean.
That was going to be her exit. And I thought, they were just going to edit it to tweak it so she got a good send-off in that, and obviously in life. Because by the time the film came out, she'd died, hadn't she?
Yeah.
But she had obviously filmed it.
Yeah. It'd be quite interesting. She's actually on because I remember when she died, but she was flying back from the UK to the States when she died.
I think so, yeah.
Because I saw her on an episode of 8 out of 10 Cats the week before that. So maybe that was like part of her like UK kind of like tour, what she was doing. And then she flew back and obviously died.
Really sad.
Yeah, it was. And I don't think they'll kill her off. I think they'll let her have I'm going now to like a different part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it will still obviously be quite emotional.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do something very emotional but not play into the death.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yes, that was one of the trailers, and then the other trailers we've kind of discussed before on the podcast, haven't we? We had the Joker trailer,
which does still look
looks amazing.
I'm really looking forward to that.
What other trailers did we have? I always mean to like write them down because I just forget. Oh, I know what we had. The Olympus Has Fallen.
Gerrard Butler.
What's this one called? So it's Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen.
Whatever his character's name is has fallen. Angel
Has fallen. Yeah, that looks still crap, doesn't it?
But you did say, and I agreed in the cinema, that you kind of want to watch it.
Yeah, like there's a part of me that just... It's the same as this. It's the same as Hobbs and Shaw. Like, it was all... we'll get into it.
Was that going to be an awful or awesome, I wonder?
I somehow want to combine those two words because that's how I feel about Hobbs and Shaw. No, it was... the Angel Has Fallen. I want to know what's going on with Gerrard Butler.
Yeah, me too.
He looks very strange in this.
Yeah, he looks so just withered and over it.
Yeah. Because he was really kind of came to fame. Was it
300?
No, it was that love that really like that's not P.S. I Love You, the other one, where he's already dead, and it's like a woman goes to Ireland to like...
Never heard of it.
Wait, sorry, it was P.S. I Love You. Because it came out at the same time as that other one. I don't even know what genre you call this. American tragedy romance film, apparently.
Oh, yeah. That well-known genre.
Yeah. Yeah, he dies from an illness and she goes back to where he's from and like has a little tour, basically.
Someone just landed a trick outside. we record near a fairly famous skate spot, I'd say.
Yeah.
Someone just landed. I just kind of want to peek my head out. I'm like, no. Talk amongst yourself, friends.
I really hope you leave this little bit of dry air.
Thanks. Where do we?
So we had Angel Has Fallen.
Yep.
That trailer. It looks crap.
Yeah. I took a corn cob in as a snack. When we
Oh my god! So you put 2 corn on the cobs and then some like covered like baked corn thing. So you've got 2 different corn snacks, neither of which are like normal cinema viewing foods.
They were really good though.
So we could just maybe like sneak a couple bottles of wine in. I reckon.
Yeah, that's a good job.
You can drink in Korea in cinemas.
Can you?
You can just take whatever you want in there. They don't give a crap.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. Big leather
But
seats.
you know you couldn't let British and English people do that. Or...
Nah, I'd be lobbing empty bottles on the screen. Also, I wanted to point out that the cinema's pretty empty today. People started funneling in, and everyone went for those like middle row, middle aisle seats, the sweet spot. And then this one woman come in by herself and just went right at the front.
She went front and centre, didn't she?
Front and centre, just with her neck just like fully tilted back. I was like, you are a maniac.
Yeah. Man, and just think of like how big like the Rock's head looked.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
What was quite fun about going to see a film like this in the cinema, because I've never seen like a action film like this in the cinema before, was the clientele of these types of films. It's very different from other films.
Yeah.
Like I thought Marvel viewers were bad, but
Yeah.
Christ, these were...
There was a guy behind us loving it, but loving it for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, like he'd fully bought into the franchise,
Yeah.
hadn't he? He may as well have been wearing a Fast and Furious t-shirt. Like
Or some dog tags
every
and a
time
vest.
he was like, yes, yes, yes.
Should we get into it? There was no other trailer. There was that weird one that Hustle that had
Yeah.
about 5 trailers that lasted 10 seconds.
If
between-
that. There was, yeah, Hustle. So I'm going to look it up quickly. I saw Jennifer Lopez.
That could be a comeback.
She was in it.
But she was never good.
She's not a good actress, though, is she? Hustle film.
Did you
I
ever see-
recognise some others, but I know they were famous pop stars, but if Arlo was here, he would know their names, but I still can't remember.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm really bad at
I
that.
don't know which Kardashian is which, to be honest.
No.
Hustle film 2019. Well, it's already got 5.4 out of 10. It's not even out yet. So, oh no, sorry, that's The Hustle.
Oh.
Hustle film. Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, there we go. Oh, sorry, Hustlers.
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 My
That's
bad.
why. Who's it got in it? Inspired by a New York Magazine article by Jessica Presler that went viral, former strip club employees band together to turn the tables on their Wall Street clients. Sounds shit.
Yeah.
That's who I recognise that I didn't know the name of. Cardi B.
Oh, yeah. I quite like her music. She's funny.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. She's got sass.
So it's got Lily Reinhart, Jennifer Lopez, Constance Wu, Cardi B, and Lizzo. These are some rogue names.
Lizzo's really good too. She's
she?
she played Glastonbury this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
that festival that I hate. Yeah, it didn't give much away, did it? They kind of did a little dance in front of the camera.
Yeah, it was all like quick. It was
It
almost
was like the
intro-
Hobbs and Shaw trailer that we saw the last time we went to the cinema.
Yeah, that's true.
Where there was like 4 mini trailers.
Yeah. I guess it's just like a way of marketing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
I mean, it's got
but-
us talking about it.
Yeah. Wow. It's got someone called Constance Wu,
Yeah.
who is stunning. Okay, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't care about that. Was there any other trailers? I think that was it, wasn't it? There's probably...
Yeah, I feel like we'd kind of seen everything.
I remember,
before.
like, after the trailers, me thinking there's very little of note to talk about there.
Yeah, same.
So, yeah, should we get on with the...
Yeah, so
The
Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, who, and I'm talking to myself here, I guess, who's going to do the Slate synopsis?
rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
No, 1, 2, 3, draw. That's the rules for rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, no, because there's East Coast rules and West Coast. It's true.
No, that's nonsense.
It's true. Ask Sam, I'm telling you.
No, it's 1, 2, 3, draw. And East Coast and West Coast of which country?
The States,
Okay,
obviously.
you're not talking about like Essex versus Wales.
So I think West Coast is 1, 2, rock, paper, scissors, and you throw on scissors, and there's rock, paper, scissors, throw is East Coast, I think.
Well,
Which one do you want to do?
East Coast.
Okay, so rock, paper, scissors, throw.
Yeah.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, throw. It's on you, but big man.
Okay. Dang. I threw paper, Joe threw scissors.
Oh yeah, probably should have mentioned that.
Right, so I don't really know. I'll start this off. I don't know where this ties into the Fast and Furious franchise because I can't remember which ones I've seen. Wow, this is actually really hard.
So wait.
No, I can do it. So there's a new bioweapon virus that can infect everyone. Idris Elba wants it, and so then The Rock and Jason Statham have to team up to take him down.
That was awful.
Yeah, that was really bad.
That was
Wait,
really
let me
bad.
go. Let me go again.
I can do it if you want, mate.
No, I can do this. Wait, let me get no. Okay, take 2. There's a virus that can kill everyone, kill all mankind, Idris Elba wants it. He's some kind of weird super soldier because apparently he was shot in the face by Jason Statham. I'm just going to call them by the actors' names.
No, you can't do that. So
Why not?
Dwayne Johnson is Luke Hobbs.
Right.
Jason Statham is Deckard Shaw. And Idris Elba is Brixton Law.
Do you think they just called him after his favourite part of London?
And Vanessa...
We need a British name for him. What should we call him? Brixton.
Brixton.
It's going to be Brixton, Victoria, Waterloo.
Do you want me to have a stab at it?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
I mean, well, I said this earlier off mic. You kind of don't need to know.
You don't like. I've only seen Fast and Furious 1 and Fast and Furious 2, and I was perfectly fine getting. There was no point where I was like, "This is too confusing."
Yeah.
I did watch an 8-minute recap of all 8 films, which was so. What I understand of it is Luke Hobbs, which is Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
He came into the franchise in the
6 or 7.
I think it's a 5th film,
right.
And he was like the antagonist in that film.
He was trying
Vin
to track him
Diesel's
down.
protagonist.
Yeah.
And they ended up having to work together, so he came on board.
He's now part of the family.
And I think a very similar thing happened with Jason Statham's character,
Yeah.
Deckard Shaw.
And I feel like his sister might have been in it in the last one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Vaguely.
And also Jason Statham's... so Deckard Shaw killed one of the original team of... the guy that's also in Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
Deckard Shaw killed him
Right.
in the franchise.
And isn't Tokyo Drift in chronological? It's the first one, is that right?
No, it's after.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait.
So it's like Tokyo
it's
Drift
after
1.
So it goes 1, 2. In terms of the release, Tokyo Drift was the third one. But
Yeah.
there's a guy that dies in in Tokyo Drift that's killed by Jason Statham.
Yeah.
But he's in 4, 5, and 6, I believe.
Right.
So Tokyo Drift is in between 6 and 7.
Okay.
I
Amazing.
think.
Love it.
Basically what they wanted to do was make it chronological, but then they had Tokyo Drift, and then they were like, oh, everyone really liked this character that was in Tokyo Drift. We want to use him in the main franchise,
Right.
but shit, we've killed him off.
Okay.
So the easy way around that is just make that one later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
It's hard, isn't it?
Right, no, so it's... Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. It's a very complex film. It's set around the idea that there is a virus that, when injected, the capsules will break after 42 hours and kill the host. If that happens, then the virus will then become airborne and kill off billions of the population. And this is kind of what the antagonists want to happen, because they want the next evolution of mankind, so they think by killing off the weak, that can happen.
Yeah.
And so Brixton Law, who's played by Idris Elba, wants to release this virus, essentially. Hattie Shaw, who's Deckard's sister, initially has injected herself with
to stop him
getting the virus.
It's basically Mission Impossible 2.
And
is the story.
The whole story centers around Brixton trying to get Hattie so that they can let the virus be exposed, and Luke and Deckard trying to save Hattie's life by getting the virus out of her and destroying it.
Yeah, teaming up.
And that's basically... And they go through various countries and locations, and it's just a steaming pile of shit, to be honest. Yeah, I mean...
should we rate it and then just go straight into non-spoilers?
Well, what are your initial thoughts? Like, how did you feel coming out of the cinema?
Was
it £10 well spent?
Well, I paid a bit more than you. I paid £12.50.
That's because you're not a student, mate.
Yeah. It's so tricky. Like you were saying this off mic that there were bits in it when I was just like, I don't want to be here. But then it was kind of balanced out by this is either so dumb it's funny or this is like quite a spectacle to watch.
Yeah. I don't think like for the last couple of hours I've been trying to come up with an adjective for it, and I don't think that's possible.
No.
Because on one hand, you're right. There was part of me that like really enjoyed the experience of watching shit explode.
Yeah.
But the story had very little to no substance.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the movie. I found myself kept like looking around the people watching. These freaks are going to actually watch these films. So yeah, it was entertaining enough. It was £10 well spent in my opinion. If you want to have a good time, go watch this film.
If you've got like a night spare or it's like raining or something and you're like, if you want to be entertained and just be away from like reality.
If you want to switch off your brain for a couple of hours,
go watch The Fast and the Furious.
It's good at that. Out of 6, how would you rate it?
Like 2.8.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3 out of 6.
Yeah.
It's in terms of, well, I don't watch a huge amount of action films, so I don't really know comparing them.
Yeah.
So I can only compare them to films that I watch, which are generally pretty good films.
Just to blow your own trumpet.
This won't be cracking my top 10 anytime soon. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, based on all the countless trailers we'd seen, I kind of expected what we got. Like, I wasn't. Yeah. It's not like I was let down, or it's not like my expectations were like, oh my god, that was way better than I thought. It's like if you see the trailer, that's what you're in for. Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, you could. We knew what was happening next and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was quite fun to watch, wasn't it? Yeah. One thing about I think the production, post production team, kind of didn't give a shit at all.
No,
like there was so many scene transitions that were just cut really weirdly.
Should we just go straight into non-spoilers?
Yeah. You always say that. You say, should we just go straight into non-spoilers?
Let's go straight into spoilers.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I think it's from another podcast I listen to. They always say non-spoilers, spoilers.
Right.
They're like, we'll do non-spoilers, spoilers. So that's always ingrained in my brain. Yeah, so what you were saying, like the scene transitions, like the cutting.
Yeah, like the very end. Yes, it really spanned me out.
Yeah,
what I can't remember exactly what it was.
It's
but
basically
someone was giving The
Rock's giving the big emotional speech at the end about how humanity triumphs machines.
Yeah,
basically.
But he barely finished his word.
Yeah,
and it just cut to the next scene. I was like, what the hell's going on?
And then it cut back, but slower.
Yeah.
So weird.
Very bizarre. A lot of editing issues.
Yeah. Like the pacing of the movie is it's pretty easy. You know, it's like the first bit's in London, the middle bit's in Russia.
It's a completely 3-act movie.
Yeah.
They may as well have written Act 1.
Yeah,
Act 2
exactly.
At the top of the screen.
Yeah, instead of writing the country they're in.
Yeah.
What else is?
Yeah, so we have the first kind of... Well, we can break it down in that way, can't we? What do you think of the first act, London?
London bit.
Well, we live in this city.
Yeah.
And nothing that exciting happens.
No. And also, because I know the geography of this place, the
car chase.
Yeah, the car chase is completely off. There's not...
Yeah, you'd be stuck in some awful one-way system.
Yeah. The bit when the Rock has captured Hattie.
Yeah.
And then him and Jason Statham are just having a bulldog at each other. You know, they're just insulting each other. The comedy is not. The comedy's patchy sometimes. You know, when they're actually trying to be funny. Sometimes there's a good quip in there, but it takes about 10 to get one good one.
Yeah,
all through the film, but I think
the other 9 just feel cringy.
Yeah, and it's especially bad in the first act. That's when it's more noticeable, because what makes it even more noticeable is Ryan Reynolds comes in and he's genuinely funny, and he's actually quipping and doing, like, his comedy timing is obviously far superior to those two.
Yeah.
And then so the first act is like not that great. The chase scene's pretty fun.
Yeah. You get your introduction to both characters, and it's kind of like
they're a mirror image
of each other. Yeah.
Also, there's a bit. The Rock's like, I've been tracking him on the dark web. It's like, I'm sorry, you are a man that you look like you've never used a computer in your life.
Oh, do you know what was horrible as well? The Game of Thrones references.
Yeah, that joke. I did.
Oh, God, it was horrible.
Yeah.
She was just like... I can't remember. They were at the diner.
Something to do with the house, the house of...
Lannisters always pay their debts. And then he's like, oh, where did you learn that? And it's like, oh, Susie's house. So you're never going to Susie's house again. Oh.
That's also a weird bit, like, at the start, they play on The Rock's relationship with his daughter. I guess what they're trying to talk about is, his whole family in general, but they kind of you don't see her again after the first act. And then in the third act, you see The Rock's
Oh my days,
generation.
I've just remembered something as well.
Go on.
So she's doing... The Rock's daughter is doing a social studies paper on her family tree. And obviously you find out later that Luke Hobbs left his family for reasons we'll get into.
Yeah.
But then...
You made a really good call on that too.
So she's drawn this family tree, and it's literally just got her and Luke Hobbs on it. And then she's like, "Oh, I also found this in the out in the garage in one of the drawers
on the garage floor." She said, "It's like."
Oh, I thought it was in the drawer.
Oh,
in the
was
garage.
it? I thought it was floor.
And it's a picture of The Rock and his brother when they were supposedly children. But all they've done is get a picture of two children from, I don't know, the 1960s, like playing on a tricycle. And they've just photoshopped The Rock's now face onto it.
With a massive afro too.
Yeah, it's so bad. But it's like clearly like a chiseled man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
I wish we could get hold of that picture. I wish we could use that in like for Instagram or whatever. If we can find that.
Yeah, I reckon I can
that
find
should be
that.
in the clip.
So a lot of like unsubtle family trope use and parallels between the two characters in the first act. Like it's obviously to do with Hattie Shaw, who's Deckard's sister, and then like there's a lot of questions asked.
And they do try and like they do it more at the start, I guess, because they're in England and there's more English characters interacting, but they really play into like old Cockney and like that bit's horrible. Really bad. But they kind of like, I don't know, I feel like in the second and third they sort of, I guess because you get a bit more action and the stories gather in a bit more pace, you sort of lose all the nonsense, or some of the nonsense. Also, do you think it was weird when Jason Statham gets up in the morning, he has his omelette or whatever, but then he goes for a pint to read the newspaper? Like those people you see outside of Wetherspoons at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
But he also poured it himself.
Yeah.
What bar is letting you go in and just be like, I've got this? I'll step behind the bar, pour himself a pint, then sit out on the pavement with a pint. Yeah, it's mad, wasn't it?
So then
they know that they have to work together after that, right? And obviously they hate each other from what I imagine is a troubled relationship in the previous films.
It must have been from the last Fast and Furious, I guess.
Yeah, probably. I might give them a watch.
Yeah, I might do now. I really want to know more about this universe and like, because I'm sure we missed loads of like little Easter eggs, and little wink winks. What's the other bit I want to say in Act 1? Oh yeah, and this bit is one of the worst parts of the movie. Idris Elba's bike, that motorbike that's kind of like a dog he can whistle, and it just comes to him and it like folds and stuff, because they do that trope of a car sliding under a lorry. Yeah. And his motorbike just like flattens down and he like water skis behind it and gets this. Yeah. That bit was so ridiculous.
They kind of, it's very strange. He's like, he's half robot, half man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Brixton.
Yeah, and it's like in this universe now they've cured death because which one is Jason Statham? Shaw.
Yeah.
Shobbs. I'm just going to say Jason Statham shot him in the face twice. Or no, two in the heart, one in the face. And he's been brought back to life and implanted with this technology. Yeah. So like in this universe, you can just bring anyone back. Well, he got washed off at the end, so they could bring him back if they want to. I feel like...
I hope they don't.
Yeah.
I can't stand Idris Elba.
Yeah, you seem to be right that he's just cashing in paychecks.
I'm very right. Anyone that listened to the podcast last week was like, why is this guy going after much beloved English actor Idris Elba? This is why. This is why.
Yeah. What else? The one bit I did like in this movie, but it does get very much brushed aside, but also it's kind of the main emotional like gravity of the film is this whole humanity versus machine. Because Idris Elba's like, he's got implants or whatever, and he's like, AI or whatever I am, cyborg needs to be the future of mankind. Yeah. But it just got swept instantly when they're it's like when they're being captured and tortured.
Yeah, it was bizarre, isn't it? Because
I feel like if they'd done that a bit better, it might have actually been a more like it would have had a better story to it.
Yeah, they had a lot of like points that they wanted to hit, didn't they? And just kind of left a lot of them hanging.
Yeah, when they should have just stuck to
they did the whole family thing, but they also wanted to like teamwork, working together. That will defeat all, and it's like, oh, it's
it's kind of corny. Did you also find as well, and I think you might have mentioned something about this when we left, that they took pretty much every action movie of the last like 20 years and just kind of used a bit of it. So there's like kind of a Terminator guy. The bit at the end felt like the last Matrix film, you know, like fighting in the rain.
Right.
There was all these kind of like, it's almost like you'd seen it before, but they just updated it.
Yeah. Well, it's a formula that works, isn't
it?
I mean, yeah. It's these films. I think I could write an action film, to be honest.
Yeah, I reckon we could probably write it better.
If I was given some money, and could have whichever stars I wanted in it, I could do a better job.
Yeah, this is a movie that was almost like if you're under 10 years old and a boy.
Oh, you would love it.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, part of me, maybe it's that part of me that loved it. So the whole in London bit was a bit weird, the pacing. So then they realised that they had to go to Russia
to get the device
device that would get the poison out of Hattie Shaw.
Yeah.
And so that was that moved into the second act, and it had quite a funny bit at the start when they came up with new identities.
Yes.
And they went onto the plane.
But also, what happened to The Rock's mustache in that?
Yeah, I noticed that, didn't I?
Because he checked in with a mustache, and then when he got on the plane, he was shaved.
Yeah,
it's like they shaved him or something, as well as searched him.
Yeah, that was bizarre. And Kevin Hart's little cameo as well.
Yeah. See, also that shows like... Because before that, there's like a 5-minute scene of them bickering in the airport. And I think that's like the last proper bicker they do. No, on the plane.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Hart like turns around and he's like the air marshal. And he's like instantly way funnier than them.
Yeah, again, it comes back to the same thing you said about Ryan Reynolds. Like, you kind of need to keep... If you want to add jokes into this film, you need to keep comedy actors out of the film.
Yeah.
Because... it can be a little bit funny when Jason Statham and The Rock like come out with these quips, but then when you see actual comedy actors, their timing's way better, and just their stage presence and stuff. It's just it then diminishes the comedy of the two leads essentially.
Because I don't think The Rock is that bad an actor, or Jason Statham, or the lead woman. Because there is one good bit I felt that was well acted when it's the machine that they go to get in Russia is broken, and that scene after they've got away, after that big chase, which we can go back to. But that whole bit where she's like sort of accepting her death because they have to. If they didn't get the machine to remove the virus, they have to kill her basically.
Yeah.
That bit is very well acted because it's actually like kind of, I guess, better written. Like it's more dramatically written, and so when you actually see them properly act and not just quip and do their stupid catchphrases.
Yeah. Also, Vanessa Kirby's a lot better of an actress than the rest of them are, I think.
Yeah. But also in some bits she's kind of wooden and British.
She is very British,
Yeah.
isn't she? Yeah. So then Act 2 kind of in Russia, but also they then go to the Ukraine.
Yeah, I was confused by that, yeah.
Yeah.
They basically have to get this device, and they've got all those like stupid like heist names that are named after like UK bands. That's
the Mick Jagger.
The Mick Jagger and
God.
the Keith Moon.
Yeah,
That's quite terrible.
Horrible.
But what did you reckon to that action sequence, which is essentially a getaway?
Firstly, their plan was fucking stupid, wasn't it? They were just like, well, I'm going to give myself up, and then you two bust into this military camp and get me, basically. And so she gives herself up to the super soldier.
Yeah.
And then they bust in. They beat up like 10 guys, go through the next door. There's like 100 there with their guns on them. It's like, well, obviously that didn't work.
Yeah. What were you thinking?
And so then they get like
idiots.
Yeah, you big stupid bald babies. So then they get like publicly tortured.
Yeah.
Which is really bleak.
Yeah.
And like electrocuted.
Yeah.
But then obviously you have the getaway after that, which is that was quite fun.
Yeah, that was a good action piece.
It was I don't know how to explain it. There's shitloads of explosions.
Yeah, there's like a bomb strapped to it, and they've got to drive away. But they also like take a buggy. He like drives it up. What do you call it? It's almost like a conveyor belt to a sense. It's like a scaffold type thing.
Makeshift ramp.
Yeah,
and like drives it onto the other. The other like truck.
Actually, I think best kill in this movie. You've just reminded me when The Rock reaches out of the car and like choke slams that guy into a wall that they're driving past.
Yeah, so the truck's going one way, the motorbike's going the opposite way, and The Rock just shoves his hand out of the window through the glass of the window, grabs this guy by the neck when he must be going 50 mile an hour and the truck's going 50, 60. That would rip his arm off.
Yeah.
But then he just has him in a chokehold, flying through the air, and he just slams him against the wall. It's like, Christ.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah. But they managed to get away somehow.
They get away, but the device gets smashed. And they're like, well...
Oh, yeah. And that's when it's like, let's go home.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, God.
They go to Samoa because they need to go off-grid. So they phone in a favour from Kevin Hart. And The Rock's never seen his family. And everything's about family.
Hasn't seen him in 25 years,
yeah,
I think
that's
they
it.
said.
Yeah. And... yeah, he has to go back because his brother's an amazing engineer. And
that's just so stupid, though, isn't it?
It is quite contrived, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a good thing...
Wow, Samoa's really in the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it's far.
That's crazy. Yeah, so because his brother can fix cars, it means he can now fix...
Yeah. A medical device used to take microscopic...
poison capsules out
of the bloodstream, which you also do see in all its CGI wonder it happening, don't you?
Yeah,
they show it.
So it's like dialysis, isn't it?
Yeah.
From what I imagine, it's taking all of her blood out and filtering out the poison.
Yeah.
The drug.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you also get. Basically, just they're like, well, we can't be bothered to subtly hint at any of these. We're just going to give you a load of exposition now and tell you exactly what's going on with Rock's family.
Yeah, and a lot of the movie actually is just exposition. I guess because it's aimed at young kids, I would guess. But a lot of it, like everything they do,
let's say young kids, shall we?
Everything they do is kind of explained
Yeah, exactly.
Even like,
I mean, yeah, you have the evil monologue in Ukraine as well, don't
Yeah.
you? Of why he's doing it, what
Yeah.
he's doing, etc. So yeah, so you find out that Hobbs left his family 25 years ago because his father was absent for a while and then came back and started a business, but the business involved like selling arms and selling drugs, and he wasn't adverse to getting his kids caught up or killed.
Yeah.
And then Hobbs basically brought him into the police, and then he disappeared, leaving the mum and all of his brothers and sisters.
Yeah, and cousins and whatnot.
Cousins and that.
And you made a very good point, because in all this, there's some like overlording AI with like a deep robotic voice talking to Brixton, Idris Elba's character. And you made a call in the cinema. You said, "I bet that's Hobbs's dad."
Yeah. Well, he's at the end as well. He said that'll be one hell of a reunion.
Yeah.
When we meet, and I was like, oh, on the nose, mate.
Do you think we'll get a sequel?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, well, this film, it cost 200 million. It'll make 600-700, I imagine.
Yeah. And so, what did you make to? So, in the like third act, it's essentially like they don't have any weapons.
Yeah.
So the Samoans are just going up in arm, just like bare-fisted. The Rock goes bare-chested and wears a sarong.
He got rid of his shirt without anyone noticing.
But then he brings it back too when he jumps on.
He puts his shirt back on. It's like, what are you doing? Why was that necessary?
Yeah.
He's literally having a conversation with Gerrard Shaw, and then he leaves that conversation, walks out to the front line, and suddenly is not only shirtless but quite clearly oiled up.
Yeah. And he's wearing a sarong, but then when he jumps on the back of the trailer, because Hattie gets captured in a helicopter, when he jumps back on, he has his linen trousers on underneath.
I think you could make a good. We could talk just about continuity errors.
Yeah.
In this, because there were so many.
Like you say, it's just like the production team.
They just don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's either they don't give a shit or they're just like, we know these are stupid and action movies, but what you see is what you get, and some people love it, some people think it's ridiculous, which it is.
So, yeah, they managed to turn off the enemy's guns.
Oh yeah, they hack the guns, and that's kind of dumb too.
Yeah, so then
The
it's
guns
an
have to
even
have-
playing field, and the Samoans just go absolute ham on the soldiers.
Which again is another like action trope, like the people that don't have the arms or the technology fighting against.
It's Avatar.
Yeah, exactly. There's that bit of Avatar, and again, it's like that. What should have been like the overarching plot of the movie just sort of crept up in like the odd throw-out line and this bit of
they don't. Yeah, they have, like I said, they're different messages, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, mankind will always defeat technology. Okay, that's one message. Oh, family's important. Oh, that's a message.
Yeah.
Oh, working together, you'll defeat anyone.
Yeah.
That's another message. Like, they just keep they don't choose what they want to do.
Yeah, it does get lost. That last chase is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's also, so she's getting her dialysis machine to get and then she just wanders off.
Yeah.
It's just like, right, okay, I'm gonna just walk this way, walk straight towards the helicopter that belongs to what's his name, Brixton.
Yeah.
And then Brixton just picks her up and puts her in the helicopter, and it's like, you fucking idiot.
They did, and then so they all come in their like jeeps and whatever, because they managed to chain the helicopter.
Yeah.
Well, at one bit it's to the Rock's bicep, but then he reattaches it to the
so you
truck.
have Hobbs and Shaw chasing the helicopter. Then they throw a metal chain
it's a
around
big
it.
metal hook chain.
And so obviously a helicopter is a lot more powerful than a car.
Yeah.
So it starts lifting up, and then more and more like Samoans turn up in their cars to make it heavier.
They do the thing which I'm sure is in every Fast and Furious movie when they hit the nitrous, the turbo.
Hit the NOS. I
Hit the
completely
NOS.
forgot about that.
That is also a really cool shot of like going through a car engine and seeing how it works.
Did they do that?
Yeah, they did it. When the first guy that flips the switch, they do the whole zoom in on the engine and see like the combustion. And that's probably like, I think that's a really cool.
Yeah.
I know it's been done probably since the first one, but that's always a really cool shot, I think.
Yes. I knew who he was. Roman Reigns. He was in it.
Who's that?
He's a professional wrestler.
Oh.
Yeah, I knew I recognised him. I thought he was in Game of Thrones or something, but no, he's a professional wrestler. So they have the whole NOS thing, and then obviously it then becomes a lot more of an intimate fight.
It basically ends up Idris Elba, The Rock, Statham, and his sister in the movie go off a cliff.
Yeah,
and the
with
storms
one other.
come in. Yeah, but they'd all be dead from that.
Oh, very dead.
It's
extremely dead.
Yeah, crumpling onto hard rock on like a Samoan
But now
cliff.
they just walk it off.
Yeah, they're fine.
Brush down.
Yeah. And that's when they have their big fight that's like the Matrix in the rain.
Yeah. Also, they're getting their ass kicked by Brixton, and they're like, wait a minute, why don't we try fighting him together?
Yeah.
Even though that's what they'd been doing the entire time anyway.
Yeah.
And
there's some great slow-mo shots of some big bald heads in that, just like, they're like kind of
getting punched.
Yeah.
I forgot they had slow-mo shots. They've just given this company, and I forgot what the director's called, David Leitch, they've given him too much money and just been like, do whatever you want, mate.
Yeah.
And
he's having fun with it.
And you can tell because that was like near the end, and they probably had 20 million left, and he was like,
slow-mo.
He's just there like, we need to spend this money. Or they're not going to give me the same amount of money for the next film.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you've got a business has got a, what do they call it?
Oh, damn. Arlo would know this.
Surplus.
That's it. Yeah.
And they've got to spend it by like the end of the financial year, so they still get the same amount from the corporation next year. It's the same thing here. I reckon they only spent like 150 million up until the final fight scene, and they were like, right, we need to burn this extra 50.
We need to go big, baby.
Let's go slow-mo.
Yeah. And this is, just before this, when they're gearing up for the big fight, my favourite line was, "It's all in the island, bro." Because there's a lot of broing down in this and fist bumps, isn't there?
Oh, there is an insane amount of fist bumps.
Yeah, it's so jockey, isn't
Even
it?
the Englishman.
Yeah.
Just fist
Even
bump here.
Statham's
Even
gonna-
Statham just getting involved.
Do you want to say your favourite
My
line?
favourite line was actually back when they were in Russia and we were having the evil monologue from Brixton Law, where he's explaining his whole plan. And Luke Hobbs, so Brixton goes, this virus, when it's released, it'll weed out the weak of society, so we'll only have the strong left. And Luke Hobbs, in his infinite wisdom, just goes, that's genocide. And Brixton quips back, just quick as an arrow, like, don't take anything away from him. Just goes, genocide, schmenocide. Oh my days.
It's such bad.
It's that writing was just... Do you reckon someone was there? The writer was there. It was like Friday, 10 to 5. And he was like, need to get this scene done before the weekend. And he's just
I've got a line.
Right, come on, we got this. And he's just like, there's got to be a pun with genocide. Come on, you can do this. And he's like, screw it. Genocide, schmenocide. Done. Scene. So
good.
we have the final fight scene.
Also, just on that bit of infinite wisdom, they try and sort of make them so they're not just dumb knuckleheads, which they are, and they also look like my knuckles because they're bald and round. But they like quote philosophers, but then they quote Bruce Lee. That are just like trying to be smart.
So he quotes Nietzsche, doesn't he?
Yeah,
And then later on he does another quote, and Hattie's like, "Oh, was that Nietzsche again?" And he was like, "Yeah, Bruce Lee, actually." It's like, fuck. Okay.
Oh, and The Rock gives a people's elbow on FaceTime to his daughter, doesn't he?
People's elbow.
Oh no, his eyebrow. What's he call his eyebrow? The people's eyebrow.
It's not the people's eyebrow. It's just his eyebrow. Yeah. The people's eyebrow. Yeah, no, he does do that. He does the classic eyebrow thing.
The people's eyebrow.
The people's eyebrow. They have the fight at the end. And
they win through teamwork and family.
Surprisingly, they win.
And
then the mysterious
AI voice talks to them.
AI voice turns off Brixton, basically. And he just dies and falls off a cliff.
Yeah, which I think they could bring him back if they want to.
Well, of course. You don't, If someone doesn't explode, then they're still game for a. I think they've brought back a few characters over the time.
Yeah.
There's very little substance to this film, so there's not a huge amount more we can go into. The set pieces were great.
Yeah. But I feel for because all these movies are meant to be about cars. They're I guess.
Well, this is a spin-off.
Yeah, so. True. Yeah, that's fair.
So it's not going to focus as heavily on cars, but it still does. It has. You have a couple of chase scenes in London. Yeah. Then you've got obviously the escape in Russia. Yeah. Then you've got the whole driving with the helicopter thing. Yeah. It's not. It doesn't have as much as the original.
In the London bit, they go through Deckard's garage, and there's a Mini Cooper, and he references the Italian Job.
Yeah.
Now, was he in the remake of the 2002 Italian Job? Because if it is, they've now linked those two universes together.
The Mark Wahlberg one.
Yeah. Is Jason Statham in it?
No, I don't think so. He's in the Transporter.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It's actually got a really good cast. That bit was really bad.
Yeah, they should have actually made a Fast and the Furious Italian Job. Just made it that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Look at that. If Statham's in it, we've got a shared universe here, and I'm all for it.
Italian Job 2003. Oh my God, of course he is.
Yes,
he's Handsome Rob.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm so excited now.
Yeah, it's got bloody Edward Norton in it.
Yeah, the cast's insane, but it's such a bad movie.
Wow. Charlize Theron, Mark Wahlberg, Jason Statham, Edward Norton, Donald Sutherland, Seth Green.
So that must be seriously bad writing for that not to be a good movie.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Well, that's quite a cool little throwaway reference, isn't it? Yeah. Easter egg. When's the next one out?
I don't know. Is there going to be a Fast and Furious 9?
Well, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Do you think all these characters will be in it? One of the writers said that space travel is not off limits.
Yes, I want to see that. Big bald men invest in space. But they'll be breathing without any sort of oxygen up there. They'll just be able to breathe, yeah.
They'll be,
because they're so muscular or something like that.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say on this film?
No, it's dumb but kind of fun. So
yeah, dumb but fun.
Dumb but fun. Yeah. Yes, actually, there is one thing last thing I want to say about this. When I was looking for news, I went on to Empire, which is a magazine here in the UK. I guess it's worldwide. Now they gave Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 4 stars. They also gave The Fast and the Furious Hobbs and Shaw 4 stars.
Well, 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Okay. Why are they not rating out of 6?
They're just
crazy.
Yeah. Mad world.
Wow. Well, I sincerely fucking hope that the other ones, that Once Upon a Time is better.
We got a trailer for that.
We did get a trailer for that. That's nonsense. They need to look at their. Maybe they're reviewing it in correspondence with the people that are into that kind of film.
I guess if you compared the Fast and Furious to whatever, I guess to Gerrard Butlers movie, whatever that's called, Angels Fallen, it probably is 4 out of 5 stars. But compare it to a Tarantino movie, it's 1 star.
Yeah, because if you don't do that, then you just get into you're never going to have a 5-star action film. Because if I was reviewing I don't really like action films that much, to be honest.
No,
they're fun. I had a really good time today, but that's about it. Yeah. No substance. I won't be thinking about it for the next couple of weeks.
No, I've almost forgotten about it already.
I've forgotten a large chunk of the movie already, and we saw it 2 hours ago.
So next week we're gonna have a week off, just because Arlo's on holiday, I'm on holiday. You said you might do some like little bit of content,
Yeah, I
maybe
might
on
do
the
like
YouTube
a
channel.
10-minute kind of review of a film or talk about comics or something. If anyone's
Yeah.
interested in that, probably not. But there's quite exciting stuff happening, and certainly in the X-Men universe at the moment. So I might give that a.
It's a good little side movie, like how this one was.
You really need to stop with things like that.
Yeah. God damn it! One day I'll get one.
So yeah, if you might hear from me, you might not.
Yeah.
But we want some questions. We want people to send
Yeah.
in questions so we can answer them on air.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun. I
Or
think.
like any suggestions for like topics for us to talk about, like
yeah.
yeah.
Any
anything.
good films you can recommend us?
Yep.
Absolutely, because it's trying to sift through the shit at the moment, really, with like Netflix and Amazon Prime and stuff. Don't have a huge amount of spare time, so I don't want to be watching terrible films.
Yeah.
So we won't be here next week, but we'll be here the week after.
Yeah, and I think we'll be doing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep.
Which we're all psyched for.
Yeah, and we'll be back. We'll be fresh as a daisy.
Yep.
We'll be ready. We'll be quipping left, right, and centre.
Yep.
It'll be
The family's back together.
boom.
We'll be chinking Coronas
Oh God.
and having a barbecue outside.
Yeah, we didn't get a barbecue.
Yeah, they didn't. They almost did it in the sunset.
They should
That
have.
sunset scene. Cool, yeah.
All right.
Thanks for listening. We're on the usual Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Acast.
Wow, we're on a load of stuff now, aren't
Yep.
we?
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.